Hello fellow preppers, 'tis I, the Rumpled One. Well, I spoke about the basic disaster life support course I took a few weeks ago. I still got to take that test this week or I'm not going to be able to get my certificate. But I thought I would maybe go through here chapter by chapter and share some of the things in case you're not fortunate enough to live near a place that will be giving this course. Okay, here we go. Chapter 1. All hazards, disaster casualty management. See, basically what all hazards means is that you're preparing for anything, everything that could possibly happen. And you're using this kind of a one-size-fits-all plan, but the plan's flexible. The idea is flexible. So you can tune it. Let's see, okay. And remember that this is by the Medical Association, or the American Medical Association, and so their outlook is from a medical standpoint. Okay, they have what's called the pre-disaster paradigm, PRE. The P stands for planning and practice, the R stands for resilience, and the E stands for education and training. So you have to have careful and ongoing planning, and then you have to practice those plans. So planning includes design, implementation, and ongoing evaluations of efforts to help communities, institutions, for individuals prepare for, respond to, and recover from disasters and public health emergencies. And there's a lot of big words in here because it seems like to get government grants and to get people to pay attention, you got to use big words, but this stuff's really simple. Resilience. Being prepared can reduce fear, anxiety, and losses associated with a disaster and build resilience. Resilience is the ability of individuals and communities to rebound to a reasonable state of normalcy after exposures to disasters, serious emergencies, and other traumatic, tragic, and stressful events. So it says, in advance of a disaster, resilience can be built into a community by educating the population about local disaster planning and response efforts, and assisting residents with the development of personal and family preparedness plans. Given that resources may be limited during a disaster, it is increasingly recognized that communities may need to be on their own for at least 98 hours before outside help arrives, and thus needs to build resilience before an incident occurs. I laugh only because after the training I've gone through, I just know that I'm on my own, and you're on your own. And all this stuff, in a way, is kind of window dressing, because I don't want you to panic. But we've seen what happened with Hurricane Sandy, Katrina, need I say more? And of course the E, education and training, for the PRE. Effective education programs can help minimize the impact of a disaster as well as build resiliency. You see, sentences like that sound good, but you know, reality check. I mean, how can the programs be effective unless they get out there? You see, that's just it. Only reason I got to this course, I just happened to be at the right place at the right time to hear about it. Otherwise, I would have never known. So you see, there could have been maybe 10, 20 or more people who had the time and would be willing to take the course, but somehow they didn't know about it. It wasn't really made, the knowledge isn't out there. You have to dig for it. Then they have the disaster paradigm. I'm just going to read through what it is. D, detection. I, incident management. S, safety and security. A, assess hazards. S, support. T, triage and treatment. E, evacuation. R, recovery. So that's all I think you really need to hear about it. I could go in depth, but I think you could probably figure it out. It's not that difficult. Like I said, it's simple. It's common sense. But it's really good to go through the course and to have the materials. That way you can put together your own plan, have your education, so you can weather the disaster, because when it gets down to it, you're on your own. So, my fellow preppers, once again, the basic disaster life support course. This was version 3.0. I supplied a link. I'll put it again. If you look down below, then you can go to the calendar and see if there's one near you. And like I said, best of all, it's free. So, fellow preppers, if you fail to prepare today, you're preparing to fail tomorrow.